Hi, this is in the news for Tuesday, March 29th, 2022. And what I wanted to cover today was Biden's recent trip to Europe. So he was in Europe for 4 days. He left on the 23rd and he came back, I think, on the 26th or 27th. So just wanted to make note of a few things for that. First of all, on Thursday, he was in Brussels and he participated in an emergency NATO meeting regarding Russia and the Ukraine thing. But the notable thing is, afterwards, during a press conference, somebody asked Biden a question about, it went something like this: if Russia uses chemical weapons, what would the U.S. response be? And so Biden responded that it would, quote, trigger a response in kind. Okay, now that phrase, in kind, a response in kind, that means that whatever somebody does something to you, you do the same thing back to them. So, for example, if somebody gives you flowers on your birthday, then a response in kind would be when it's their birthday, you give them flowers. That's a response in kind. It's the same thing. Or another example is if you get into an argument, say, and somebody hits you, then a response in kind would be for you to hit them back. So when Biden said that Russia using chemical weapons would trigger a response in kind, he was essentially saying that if Russia uses chemical weapons, then we will use chemical weapons. So a lot of people were concerned about this because we haven't used chemical weapons in over 100 years since the World War I, right? And so chemical weapons are against the Geneva Protocol or against Chemical Weapons Convention and things like that. So the White House staff had to issue a statement to walk back what Biden had said. So the official White House response to what Biden said was, quote, "The United States has no intention of using chemical weapons, period, under any circumstances." As you said, that's been the U.S. policy for over 100 years. So it's kind of very shocking to people that Biden would say such a thing. And that's why the White House had to issue a correction or issue a clarification on that. So that was on Thursday. Then on Friday, Biden was speaking to U.S. soldiers in Poland who were stationed in Poland, the 82nd Airborne Division. And he was talking to them about Ukraine and so on. And he said, quote, "You're going to see when you're there, you're going to see women, young people standing in the middle, in the front of a damn tank saying, 'I'm not leaving.'" So what Biden was probably trying to say is he's trying to essentially make a comment about the bravery of Ukrainians to stand up against invaders and all that kind of stuff. But the way he phrased it, it made it sound like he was going to send U.S. soldiers to go and fight alongside Ukrainians. So that was another thing that got a lot of people scratching their head. And it was another example of the White House staff having to walk back Biden's statement. So they issued their own statement, a clarification. Quote, "The president has been clear we are not sending U.S. troops to Ukraine, and there is no change in that position." So again, Biden said one thing, he was speaking off the cuff, it wasn't prepared remarks, or he was deviating from what he had written, or what was written and what he was supposed to say. And he said something that he should not have said, and it got a lot of people concerned. And so then the White House staff had to issue a clarification. Then on Saturday, excuse me. Then on Saturday, Biden was talking with the Polish president, President Duda, and he made an address at the Royal Castle in Warsaw, Poland. And so he gave his speech, and in his speech he was talking about Putin, and he said that Putin, quote, cannot remain in power. And so this is another thing that people are concerned about, because if you read between the lines, what he's saying is basically we have to get rid of Putin. So that was another major shock to people, that he would say something like that. And so again, the White House staff had to walk that statement back. And so they issued their own statement, and they said, quote, "The president's point was that Putin cannot be allowed to exercise power over his neighbors or the region. He was not discussing Putin's power in Russia or regime change." So again, yeah, a lot of people took that to mean that, we got to get Putin out of there one way or another. So a lot of people were nervous about that, because it's really not right for one country to say, oh, we don't like this guy that's in there, so we got to get rid of him. There has to be something that comes from the people themselves, not from another country. So a lot of people were scratching their head over Biden saying something like that. And again, the White House had to issue a retraction or correction, or whatever you want to call it, countering what Biden had said, because all these things that Biden said was actually against U.S. policy. So there was a great deal of confusion. Expressions you should know. Brussels, capital of Belgium. Notable, something to make a note of, something important or interesting. Something like this, similar to this. Response, answer, something done as the result of someone else's actions. Trigger, cause something to happen. In kind, doing the same thing to someone as what they have done to you. Geneva Protocol, an agreement after World War I not to use chemical and biological weapons in war. Chemical Weapons Convention, an agreement not to use, develop, produce, etc. chemical weapons for war. Staff, workers in a department or organization. Issue, provide an official statement. Walk back, to let someone know that you said something wrong or that you changed your opinion about something. Intention, plan, want. Period, something you say, usually at the end of a statement, to show that you are finished speaking about a subject and there will be no more discussion. Policy, official plans, positions, etc. of a group, organization, or government. Clarification, explanation, statement that makes things clearer or easier to understand. Station, put soldiers at a particular place as part of their duty as soldiers. 82nd Airborne Division, the name of a special group of U.S. soldiers that parachute into enemy territory to attack. Bravery, the condition of not showing fear when in a dangerous or difficult situation. Invader, someone who uses force to take over or control. Phrase something, express something in a particular way, using certain words. Alongside, side by side, with. Someone scratching his head. Someone is confused about something or thinking a lot about something. Troops, soldiers. Speak off the cuff. To speak without preparation or planning. Remark, comment. Deviate, to do something different than normal, go in a different direction. Address, speech. Remain, stay. Read between the lines to understand what someone really means, even if they don't say it in words. Get rid of, eliminate, throw away. Exercise power, use power. Regime change, change the government, usually by those who are not part of a nation or its people. Take something to mean, understand something to mean. Retraction, a taking back of something that was said. Counter, saying something that is the opposite of what was already said. So I hope you liked that. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share with a friend that you think might enjoy this. And I'll see you in the next video.